Hello, folks. I don't know whether there's anyone there watching this live, and this is another impromptu Woody's World War II TV Walkabouts, and the reason it's happening is very simple. I missed the boat. We had a boat trip planned today, 2 o'clock, and we drove into the town we're in, which is Saint-Nazaire-en-Royan. That's nothing to do with the Saint-Nazaire famous from the Saint-Nazaire raid of 42. This is a different Saint-Nazaire, Saint-Nazaire-en-Royan in the Vercors. And we couldn't find anywhere to park, so I dropped my family at the boat and I went and parked somewhere, but by the time I had parked, I missed the boat. So I'm in town. So we're back to the summer of 1944 again, and the story of the resistance, which, if you've been following these walkabouts, I'm from Normandy, where Normandy resistance is more about intelligence gathering. It's about sheltering Allied pilots, things like that. This is an area of France where resistance is absolutely active. Hello, Brian. I've just seen the comment there. So I'm not used to seeing memorials where it's resistance who are Maquis fighters who are being captured and tortured and killed in pretty huge numbers. So anyway, I'm in this little village and I'm going to do a couple of memorials for us. This is the standard. I say standard. It's a typical war memorial in a French village. There are these types of memorials all over the country. So it depicts a French First World War soldier, and it has the First World War casualties. And of course, in the background, by the way, that's the rising up to the Vercors, the same area I was at yesterday. So this is a pretty standard war memorial. However, when I get to it closer, so you've got the standard First World War figure on the top there. And you've got the names there, 1914, 1915, 1916, 1917, to the memory of the glorious children of Saint-Nazaire who died for the homeland. And again, this interesting where sometimes they use patrie, sometimes they use pays, sometimes they use pour la France, this different interpretation of what they're dying for. And then below you'll see to the dead of 1939-45, and you'll see the bottom three are soldats in the FFE. So that's the Forces French d'Intérieur. That's the official name of the resistance after it was kind of unified by the efforts of Jean Moulin and others in the middle of the war. Then you've got civilian victims over there. So these are the people from this little village. It's quite a big village now. It's quite touristy. I'm outside the main part of the town, but in the main part of the town there are bars and cafes overlooking a lake and this boat trip that I missed. But hey, I've missed the trip. I can now talk to you guys. So here we go. I'm across the road now, trying hard not to get run over, and take you to the other memorial. And it's a busy time in France because we're coming up to the August the 15th weekend, which is the big public holiday in France. So the roads are crazy busy. So I'm taking over to the other memorial. Hope the sound is okay on this one. I cranked it up as much as I could. So I notice there's a photo here. I'll show you this first, which shows you this village. Well, a chateau, Chateau Laurent. Pre-war. So this thing, you see the name of the town there, Saint-Nazaire-en-Royan, and that's the town crest there. Now, what I've found out as I parked here is my van parked over there, the blue van. Yeah, I did a bit of research online. There's a link. I put a link in this show to an article on a national French resistance website that has the story of these people here. I haven't got a pen with me, so I couldn't jot down any notes. So I've kind of tried to remember a few of them, but you can collect the link and do the translation yourself to get the story. So there's a whole variety of victims here from different parts and eras of the war. A lot are unknown. So we'll start off with the left-hand plaque there and it's one of the a tribute plaque. This is for an association of ancient combatants, so ancient meaning veteran combatant, the 11th Cuirassiers from Vercors, in homage to their heroic companions in the resistance. And then here there are all these names, so I'll let you read them yourself. I found out that in the reprisals following the Battle of Vercors that I talked a little bit about yesterday, and I'll be uploading some other shows when I get back home to Normandy of the video footage I took, is that the battle itself kind of turns into a hunt by the Germans for those who'd survived, and the reprisals carry on into August. Indeed, in some places, even after other parts of this part of France has been liberated, certain resistance who were taken back to other parts of Germany and other parts of France died later on. So some of these, the big date here is the 1st of August. The 1st of August, not all on the 1st of August, but around the 1st of August, 46 members of this community, including, I think it was 32 resistance, some other young people from the village and some civilians were rounded up into the square of, or the courtyard of the castle. I'm not sure which building is the castle in this village. I may have a look for that later on. And they were shot. And so some of these people are from Saint-Nazaire on Royan, so that's where we are now. But others, you'll see the top name there, Marcel Comte-Bello from Grenoble, which is about an hour and a half's drive from here. Grenoble was kind of the headquarters of the local German SS and what have you, Gestapo and what have you. Notice the inconnu, that means unknown. So they're numbered. So unknown number 13, unknown number 22. And here's, I'm going to go right back so you can get the whole memorial in. Then I'll go close again and look at the panels. So it's quite a large one. There are several panels. I can just about got it all in shot now. And sound is excellent, good, and that's good. So to the glorious martyrs, 1944. And so I'll go back to where I was and carry along the panels there. There's one name I did look up a little bit, and I'll read you about him in a minute. And these aren't just all men. There are some of the victims of this reprisal. There was a 3-year-old child and a 6-year-old child, I think it was. So to the pioneers of the Vercors, to the glorious martyrs, and les rescapés à leur compagne, to some of these things are very hard to, the escapades, I suppose that translates as. Now this one here below, I did actually write some of this translation down. I mean, you can translate it yourself there, souvenir français, but I wrote down with a pen that didn't really work very well. And this is what I put. Their blood will never dry on the earth, and the slaughtered dead will remain exposed. We grind our teeth in memory of these glorious people who died, and you can translate the last. I forgot what my pen didn't work, so I can't write it down. But if you translate that, take an image, screen grab and translate it. It was written, but I don't know who Jean Ami was. I'm assuming he was a resistant. I don't know. So you can look up some of this information yourself later on. I said, I didn't know I was going to be here. I love this plaque here. So FFE, the official name for the resistance, with a stag. And we saw a deer as we drove into town. This one, Vercors is the area we're in. And you can see more of these names here. So René Guérimont, 21 years. He's from the Bourg de Payard, which is about 10 kilometers away. Grenoble again. Roman, which is about 10 miles away. Another unknown. The name I'm looking for, which I just read about. Oh, here we are. I won't skip past these. It's unfair if I don't give all these people a little bit of attention. These brave people who died. A 17-year-old there. Another unknown. Another one. Another panel, 74, this guy here. I think he was one of the civilians who was sort of dragged into the courtyard and shot without any particular evidence. I mean, the Germans called these things kind of court-martials, but there was very rarely a trial. They would just round anybody where they wanted up and shoot them. But this name here, Albert Tubulay, 43 years old, from Roman. He's the one that there's the most about the description below. Click that link. Use your Google Translate and get his story there. It's you know, he was active from 1940 onwards, setting up resistance networks. He was involved in the Battle of Vercors on the plateau, and then as the battle itself ceases and comes to an end, he was going through a roadblock, and someone denounced him and said, yes, he's resistant. And he was arrested by the Gestapo and tortured and eventually killed. I don't know where he was killed. It might be in the article. If it was, I've forgotten where it was. He had a 2-year-old child, Albert. So this is the kind of people that you had fighting in. As I said at the beginning of this, from Normandy, the resistance is a very different type of resistance. Very important. You know, I mean, the intelligence gathering the resistance got in Normandy was invaluable to the Allies coming ashore and information about the beach fronts and all that kind of stuff. But here it's actually resistance picking up arms and going out to try and kill Germans. In the end, a lot of them paying with their lives. If you didn't see the shows I did yesterday, about 639 resistance died in this battle in July and August 1944 out of about 4,000. So that's you know, if we had those losses in a regular infantry battalion, you know, that's what, 639 out of 4,000. You know, that's what, 1 in 7 or something, 1 in 6. We would say that was, and that's killed. That's the thing about this is there aren't many wounded. That if I will do upload some footage I took at the cave that became a hospital when I get back to Normandy. And the SS, or the Germans, just, it was Wehrmacht in fact, just went in, and another nail in the coffin of the idea that the Wehrmacht were always clean. Most of the Germans here were not SS. There was some SS kind of advisors, so to speak, here with them, but it was mostly German army. And they were absolutely ruthless in their hunting down of these resistance guys. And the wounded were shot, and the nurses were taken away to Ravensbrück. The doctors were impounded. There was tortures. There was, you know. So the policy, if we can call it a policy, of the Germans in the reprisals here was particularly savage. So yeah, pretty much all the resistance who were casualties were killed. Very few were wounded and survived. Maybe, you know, light wounds and managed to hide away in the woods and wait for liberation to come. But it's a battle where the outcome is normally death. So there you are. I'm going to finish up in a minute because I'm in the bright sunshine. My camera's getting hot, but I like paying tribute to these people from France who fell as part of the Allied effort in 1944. And although this is not in the part of the town where the boat trip is and the cafes are, because I couldn't find anywhere to park, I ended up parking right beside it. Hence this impromptu video. So the boat trips last since World War II TV's game, I suppose. And makes me realize stories. It's just too much stuff. So yeah. Um, Yeah, as Brian said, I should offer some tours of the south. It's a long old way. I mean, we did this trip down here in 3 stints. In total, it's about 10.5 hours to get down here. So it's quite a way down. But I'm going to end it now because I'm hot. The boat should be back in about 20 minutes. But there we are, a little story about the tragic ending of the resistance battle here in the summer of 1944. So cheers, everybody, for watching. I'll try and read some of your comments later on. And I'm going to try and find somewhere to have a nice cool beer, I think. So thanks everybody for watching. It's Paul Woodadge for World War II TV on one of Woody's World War II TV Walkabouts. I will see you all again at some point. Cheers everybody. Bye.